Max, do you remember me? Do you remember we had coffee together? You were just a young boy. Your dad and you, we all had coffee at St Nina Hotel. That's a long time ago. Um, and he wanted to use funerary for drug addicts. I was in nursing and my husband was in venture scouting, and so was his wee pal. And his wife worked at the Doe School, so he thought that was quite a good mix together. And he was down seeing Jimmy Reed, and she was making kittens or making buttons with her bum to try and get me to put on a big spread or whatever. And I says, he's coming to talk to us about something. A cup of tea and a sandwich or whatever. She was going on, and I said, look, it's just like this. You make it then. Okay, that's fine. In the end, he never took anything because his toffs are careless. I noticed that. I noticed the patches on his one ply, same as my man that I made for him, and the patches, because he could wear it under his shirt when he was working as a chauffeur. But I think that funerary would be a great place right enough, but for the people that are working in the field, no for drug addicts. We've got to have different places for them. But people that have been working there and are getting burnt out, that would be wonderful, for them. And in the end, I couldn't go because I was heavily pregnant, a bit too far away. And as it turned out, it was an emergency for both of us, But as I say, I saw you watching me when I was stealing the snowdrops, because I thought they were absolutely huge and big, And I know that I wrote to His Royal Highness because I believe you were at Gordonstown with him. The other thing is, Sir Walter Scott, I watched your programme and I watched it, you and your brother, and the letters that you had and the connection there, and that he used to go to Hospital Field and he was very convinced that Monsgrub is where it was, up to the north and the left, But as I say, I wrote to His Royal Highness, but I didn't want any word back, But what I wanted to say to you is that he must have, when he was being brought up in Crown Circus, been right in front of the statue of Lord Roberts of Kandahar. And in those times after war, that people put the money together to put that up, and awards. He was running out of awards. He had awards for everything. And it says on it, I see the gleam in the, hear the gleam in the north of the army, the citizens' army. And I'm pretty sure that that's what probably we're in the middle of right now. Now, I'm going to speak now to Lance in New Zealand and say to him that when I was working for Joe at Essentia and he wanted me to get my nursing, get back into nursing again because he needed me for meningitis. And meningitis was formed because there was a place down in England and it was 9 people that died there, and it was, you couldn't say then that it was like a social thing or, that it was young people getting together because they all died at the one time. So what is the origin of it all? And I think that New Zealand qualifies there because the place that they described was foggy, moist and warm and foggy. and some bugs like that and some don't, or whatever. But there's different types of meningitis. Now, the people in New South Wales that got the Nobel Prize for Helicobacter pylori, I need you to get in touch with them. And also there's the Dr. Stefanelli in New Jersey, in Verona, and his wife chiropractors, but he's also a herbalist and all of these things. And this is also a message for John McNeil, who's the CEO of Cancer Treatment Centre for America in Philadelphia. And I know he'll remember me because I gave him some books about Barra, and we had a good talk. And I'll have everything all written down. And I'm looking forward to go to Cancer Treatment Centre, because on a Wednesday you can lecture to people there. And I'm banking on the fact that I've got copyright for everything. They're all foaming at the mouth. Oh, they're going to make money, etc. They think I don't know the amount of money they've been pouring in, because they know the answers in Scotland, and they say that we're drunk with this, that, the next thing, and that we're the sick man of Europe. Oh my God, pretty bad. So, but I'm hoping to be there, but I'll write everything down, and I don't think there's anybody else I want to contact about that, because I think it's important, Lance. I value our friendship, and I tell you, the video that I did for you, now is the hour for me to say goodbye, that I sang in Maori. I'm giving you permission to release it, because that I love all these people, and when Our Majesty goes there, and the nose together, it's wonderful, the way that she has built up the Commonwealth. The other thing is, there'll be work for New Zealand, there's work for Australia too. Oh, Australia. Oh, thank you, Australia. I didn't like your Tom Piper stew during the war, but I was made to eat it. I didn't like it because it was full of pipe, but they made me eat it. And thank you, Canada, for all the wonderful apples that we got, and thank you, America, for all the wonderful PX food that we got at Fairley, that was provided by the Americans, and the stuff that you've got, the poor need it. There's going to be there's going to be tariffs, but for the third world, and we've really got to protect Africa, so there'll be parcels up, and we'll be exchanging parcels with Italy and Greece, and also India, etc., and places like Bangladesh. Well, when the Cranogs here, they're still here, and where they've opted to go to Bangladesh, but they've got tsunamis all the time. But if they find out, they may know more or less when it's coming or whatever, but if they build their houses up on sticks and stalks, and if they reclaim as much, they'll the Dutch will tell them how to reclaim things.